thanks so much for joining us today on Pop Hearts. We really appreciate you joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love to be here.
Yeah. So first off, how are you doing with all of the quarantining and being at home?
I'm doing pretty well. I came home from Nashville, right when this all started to be with my family in Mississippi. So it's been fun just getting to hang out with my little brothers and my pets and just stay in my old bedroom. So I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm out here in LA, so it's,
Yeah,
nice weather. Can't complain out here. So
that's true.
nice.
You've got the
Yeah.
good weather. It's not so nice here in Mississippi. It's very hot.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, no, you do have a little bit of some company with your new adopted cat that you got in the fall, right?
I do. He's actually right behind me. I don't know if you can see this big black circle. Yeah, Mochi is doing very well. He loves the bigger house down here. So he's doing very well with quarantine, I have to say.
Yeah, he probably loves having you around all the time.
Yeah, no complaints there. No
Yeah.
complaints.
Now, I hear you have a new song coming out soon. Can you tell us
I
a
do.
little bit about it?
Yeah, so the song is called I Still Remember, and I'm really excited about it because I wrote it probably a year and a half ago with some friends of mine in Nashville, and it's just now getting to this point where I'm getting to release it, and it's getting to be a bigger thing than I thought it was going to get to be. So I'm very excited about it.
Awesome. And when you wrote the song, is there something you could tell us about the lyrics or anything like that about it?
Yeah, so the song I Still Remember is kind of like an insider's perspective of relationships when the person you're with isn't necessarily good for you, but you can't let them go, and everyone around you is like, come on, it's not going to work out, but something in you from personal experience just won't let it go
Yeah.
because of the times you still remember with them. And I'd experienced that, my friends had experienced that, and we were all kind of going through a similar time in life when we wrote the song. And so it's personal, but also it's very relatable, and I think yeah.
Totally. Is when you go into the studio or if you're at home or anything like that and you're writing a song, do you have a way to kind of get into that mode, or do you just have a notebook that you have by your bed that things come to you all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I gotta write this down, or
Yeah.
how does that work for you?
Yeah, so it's kind of different. If I'm going into a write or into the studio, I've kind of very strategically planned what I want to write about, and I have a list of notes on my phone. I used to write in a notebook, but people always looked at me crazy, so now I use my phone. But when I'm at home, that's when I tend to get the inspiration per se, and it'll be in the shower or in the middle of the night, like you said, and just wake up and write stuff down, because I'm very thinkity and introspective at my house in my bedroom, and so that's where I think all the ideas come from, but the actual planning kind of comes when I get into the studio.
Yeah, I love the song that you wrote, The Dark Side of 17, and I know it's kind of a darker song and a deep song.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get into that kind of mindset and be able to be that vulnerable and sing that song?
Yeah, so the mindset is actually something that's not hard for me at all. I tend to be a very, I wouldn't say dark person, but I'd say very serious minded person, and I'm very trapped in my thoughts a lot of the time. So writing stuff like that is kind of my go-to. Writing happier stuff is sometimes harder for me, but releasing that song and having these people that see me as kind of just this happy person, hearing all that stuff, it was kind of scary, it was kind of weird, but people had a really great reaction to it, and they were like, I think it's really great that you put something like that out. So that made me feel a lot better, and it made me feel much more open to releasing really personal stuff like that, because I know those are the songs I relate to most.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, I mean, even I'm obviously far from 17 at this point, but I feel like even it brought me back to that time when I was 17 and going through those emotions, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. So I love
Well, thank you so much. 17 is a weird time, man, and I feel like it gets too good of a rep sometimes in mainstream media. I mean, my 17 experience was nothing like High School Musical. I can attest to that. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to talk about your song with Jacob Whitesides, because I just adore him, love him to pieces.
Oh my gosh.
So
He's adorable.
how did that collaboration come to do that song with him?
Yeah, so that was like the first single I'd ever released, and I had just kind of gotten into the Nashville scene. I had written this song, and I wanted to reach out to as many people as I could to see like who would be willing to work with me on this song, because I thought it really called for a feature of some sort. And when I sent it to Jacob, you know, I didn't really expect much, but he liked it and he was willing to be a part of it, and it shocked my 14-year-old mind to pieces, but it happened. So yeah, that was a really crazy time.
Yeah, I love how your guys' vocals just kind of like intertwine so well, because you both have such unique voices that are just so cool, and so it like,
Oh, thank you.
so great.
Yeah, he's amazing to work with. He's insanely talented, and it was definitely something I won't forget.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that you want to work with sometime in the future?
Oh my, I mean, that's a different answer all the time.
Yeah.
I really am interested. I'd love to work with Ed Sheeran, even if it's just having a conversation with him. His mind is so like genius. I just would love to work with him. And also, I don't know if you're familiar with Youngblood, but like
Yeah.
I've really been into his music lately, and people do not expect it. So I'd love to just come out with a collab like that, like pop versus his alternative awesomeness. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome. Um, let's talk about your tour with Shawn and Daya, and like, what was that like, that experience, and you know, being out with them?
Yeah, that was very interesting as well. I was again very young, and I just had a guitar with me, and like the handful of songs I had written and played around open bars in Nashville that would let me play at such a young age. And so getting to go on stage before those incredible artists and like feel the energy from their fans, and get to hype them up about who's about to be on stage was amazing. And it was also very cool to, you know, share a time with those artists when it was kind of more of the beginning of their careers, and I've gotten to watch how humongous they've become now. And it's something that has given me a lot of hope and a lot of drive to know that it's very possible to go from playing at a state fair to selling out arenas.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. What what would be like your dream and vision show that you'd want to play?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I always say as big as possible. I'm a very like big person, and I think Taylor Swift's method of doing shows is just amazing. I like the very theatrical kind of planned out but still personal kind of aspects to it. Lots of elements of surprises, lots of costume changes, I'd have to say. Yeah, I think my mind has so many ideas until I get to that point. Like I can't even speak into words what the show would be like. Yeah.
Totally.
Too much going on. Yeah.
And what next do you have coming up other than your new song that's releasing on the 14th? Anything else you have planned or want to
Yes.
do?
So, well, we've got a music video coming out for the song as well, and I'm really proud of this music video because it was an idea I got to do of mine that I've had for a while. And so I'm very interested to see people's reaction to that. And hopefully, you know, 2020, I went into this year with a lot of plans about touring and, you know, things like that, kind of step by step where I wanted things to go. But right now, it's just like trying to release music and planning out the things I can do from my home just until this thing rides out. So yeah, I definitely will be releasing a lot of new music this year, and hopefully, you know, we'll get to go out and meet some people and play some shows. But you know, that's kind of like a step-by-step thing at the time. So
Absolutely. Have you been able to write some music and work on music while you're at home right now?
yeah, it's been very good for me creatively to just like have no excuses to just be here and just write. And it's been very like going back to when I was younger, just sitting in my bedroom kind of writing music, not in the studio, not with other people. So it's given me a chance to be very vulnerable and experimental. So yeah, I've written some very, very different and new stuff, and I hope that people get to hear it after all this.
Yeah, I gotta bring up on your Instagram, I saw you made that like tie-dye cake and everything, which was
Oh my God,
hilarious.
it was awesome.
Loved it. What was the randomest thing that you have done during quarantine so far?
Oh, I have had party for my dogs. Because like we don't know their birthdays necessarily, and so we kind of have to meet in the middle. And we have all these supplies, so we had like a big party, and we made like this cookie cake. The dogs didn't get to eat the cookie cake, but it was very serious and like very like an ordeal in our families. So yeah, that was like a weird kind of fever dream night that we just had like this big party. But yeah, it was probably the weirdest thing. The cake was a close second just because of how horribly awry it went. But
It was so cool though. I loved it though. It was still
thank
pretty.
you. Thank you. TikTok has tried to inspire me to become a baker, but I don't think it's in the cards for me. I don't think it's going to work out.
Okay. It's, you know, you're
Yeah.
trying new
Yeah.
things.
For real.
I love it. Well, where can Pop Hearts fans find you on social media?
Yeah, so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Caroline Romano music, or just Caroline Romano. I'm everywhere. So I'd love for you guys to check me out.
Yes, and we can't wait to see what else you come up with on TikTok. And also, everybody check out her new single that comes out on May 14th. And we are very excited for all your upcoming music and everything else that you have coming up. Thank you so much for
Thank
chatting
you
with
so
us.
much.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been wonderful to meet you.
Yes, likewise.